ברוק יתנה מפומר יבתה והפק יתמך והפק יתמך מגוגלותה
Hello everyone. I'd like to deal with a practical issue that's going to come up in Shabbat Matot-Masei, which is indeed Shabbos Rosh Chodesh. And it's a very simple issue. We're going to read 7 Aliyahs in Matot-Masei. We're going to say Kaddish. And afterwards we're going to read from Aftir for Rosh Chodesh, which, anyone that knows, is right next to Matot-Masei. It's the Parsha before in Parshat Pinchas. Therefore, it would waste more time to take out two Torahs than to just read it all from the same Torah. I'll just define the scenario to you. The guy finishes 7 Aliyahs. As the Baal Korah says, the Chatzi Kaddish, he can roll the Torah to the right place. But taking a Hag B'Glila and then taking out the second Sefer Torah, another Hag B'Glila, will actually waste more time than less time. So you could say it's a practical issue of time. We're okay, we're moichel the time. But quite frankly, we have a precedent of this on the holiest day of the year, called Yom Kippur, in the Beis HaMikdash. No one's running anywhere. And the Gemara says in Meseches Yoma that the Kohen Gadol would read from Parshat Acharemot, the reading that has to do with the sacrifices that are special for Yom Kippur, and then he would read from Parshat Pinchas. But he would read Parshat Pinchas Ba'al Peh, namely by heart, but he would read the former from the Torah. Why, says the Gemara? Why didn't he just roll the Torah? The Gemara says in Masechet Yoma Daf Ayin Amud Aleph She'en Golalim Sefer Torah B'Tzibur B'nei Kfod HaTzibur. You do not go ahead and roll a Torah in public because of the honor of the congregation. And this is ultimately paskind in Shulchan Aruch. The Shulchan Aruch paskins Ein Golelin Sefer Torah B'Tzibur B'nei Kfod HaTzibur. And as the Rambam explains when he codifies this law, which is the basis of the Shulchan Aruch, Shelo la'atriach alehem liot omdim ad she'yiglo. Everyone shouldn't just stand around as they roll the Torah. Or, as the Mishnah Berurah says later, Shiyu mitzapim v'domimim. You can't expect everyone to just stand there and do nothing. We'd like shul to be a place where people are constantly doing things. If they stand around and do nothing, it's not good. It's not good for davening. It's not good for the congregation. They'll start engaging in things they can't do in shul. And therefore, the most practical thing this weekend would be to take out one Sefer Torah. And indeed, as he says, Chatzi Kaddish, he'll roll it. We'll call up the guy. Before you know it, it will save time. And indeed, there was such a minhag. It's the Meiri on Maseches Megillah does say that there was a minhag to take out one Sefer Torah in a different time of the year, when Parshat Shkalim came out around Parshat Kitisa or Tetzaveh, same idea, just different parshas. He basically says that ultimately they read what they read, Shnei Sifrei Torah Ein Kan. They didn't take out two Sifrei Torah. Indeed, the Maharitatz comes along and says that ultimately, when it comes to the four parshas, there is absolutely nothing in all art literature, I repeat, there is absolutely nothing in all art literature that says you have to take out two Sifrei Torah. Indeed, they would roll it, and quite frankly, there was no reason to take out two Sifrei Torah. In later generations, this seems to be something that happened. The Nachal Eshkol, which is Rav Auerbach's Perush on the Sefer HaEshkol, indeed says, Rav Natan Adler. Rav Natan Adler was the Rebbe of the Chasam Sofer in Frankfurt the Main. Al Pi Min Hago, Ein Motzein beParshat Shkalim Sefer Echad. In Parshat Shkalim, it's the same idea, usually read very close to the Parshat Shavua. They took out one Sefer. And indeed, Rav Tikochinsky brings that when Rav Shmuel Salat was the chief rabbi of Yerushalayim, in his shul, that's what they would do on Parshat Shkalim as well. However, the common minhag is to take out two Sifrei Torah, and the question is why? And I'd like to give the following two answers. Number one, the Meiri himself. The Meiri himself says the common minhag is to take out two Sifrei Torah. That the second Sefer Torah basically shows that there's two Parshiot HaShavua here. Namely, if someone's listening, he won't know that one is the Parshat Shavua, Matot-Masei, and the second is Parshat Rosh Chodesh. When you take out a Sefer Torah, you understand. Today, we're celebrating two things. It's Shabbos, so we're reading the Parshat Shavua, and it's also Rosh Chodesh, so we are reading a second Torah. That's the reason why you take out two Sefer Torah, even though practically it would work faster the other way. The second reason is something I'd like to suggest, and that's as follows. Rosh Chodesh is one of the most demoted days I know in our calendar. It's a day that's written in the Torah, it's the Oraisa, but because there's no real rules and regulations that go ahead and limit us, no one really notices it. Outside of a longer davening and making sure you say Ya'aleh v'Yavo, that's about it. However, when a Shabbos comes out on Rosh Chodesh, we have a chance to actually uplift Shabbos a bit and say, hey, Rosh Chodesh is also on the calendar. And allow me to give a few examples of what I mean. Number one, not like this year, but if Rosh Chodesh Av came out on a Friday, it would be the first day of the 9 days. And there's various opinions in the postum if you're allowed to take a hot shower during the 9 days, and even for Shabbos. But those that don't allow it actually say, such as the Mishnah Berurah, that if Rosh Chodesh comes out on Friday, then everyone agrees you can take a hot shower. Number two, many people don't shave during Sfira, even for Shabbos. However, if a Rosh Chodesh is on Shabbos during Sfira, everyone agrees you can take a shave for Shabbos. So as you can see, when Rosh Chodesh comes out on Shabbos, it's a chance to uplift Rosh Chodesh in the eyes of the people. And allow me to give a third example that's practical for this year. There is a shut called the Divrei Yatziv by the Kloisenberger Rebbe, who survived the Holocaust, a very famous Rebbe, lost 11 children and his wife, got remarried, rebuilt the Sans Kloisenberg Hasidus, and was a huge Talmid Chacham. In his Divrei Yatziv, he deals with the question that I dealt with in a different podcast of which Haftorah to read this week, the Haftorah for Rosh Chodesh or the Haftorah second in the 3 that we read before Tisha B'Av. And he comes up with the following amazing chiddush. He says, it's very simple. By us Hasidim, everyone reads the Haftorah to themselves. So basically, I'm going to divide it based on the following. Whoever usually celebrates Rosh Chodesh, has a nicer meal, does something in honor of Rosh Chodesh, should read the Rosh Chodesh Haftorah called Hashamayim Kisi. Whoever does nothing for Rosh Chodesh should read the second of the 3 Haftorahs we read before Tisha B'Av. Based on these 3 examples, I believe that when we take out a second Sefer Torah, we're telling the people, hey guys, maybe Rosh Chodesh doesn't have any limitations on work, doesn't have any limitations on driving, and it just makes davening longer, and you have to remember to say Ya'aleh v'Yavo. But it's a day on the calendar. It's such a day on the calendar that the Gemara in Erchin actually says maybe we should say a full Hallel, and then gives a reason why not. But it's a day on the calendar. It's a Oraisa day, as a matter of fact. In other words, what we're trying to do by taking out 2 Sifrei Torah, which is the common minhag, is to say, hey guys, don't forget, Rosh Chodesh is on the calendar. What you choose to do with it is actually your challenge. And this is especially true during this time of the year, because Yeshayahu Hanavi said, Chodshechem u'mo'adechem san'a nafshi. In the name of God, he says, God hated the way that we celebrated Rosh Chodesh and the Yom Tovim. Maybe this Shabbos is actually a chance to fix that. So we'll take out a second Sefer Torah to say Rosh Chodesh is on the map. And then the challenge is up to us. How will we make Rosh Chodesh a substantial day on every other subsequent Rosh Chodesh throughout the year? Wishing everyone a Shabbat Shalom and a Chodesh that hopefully will turn into a Tovah, Livracha, and as Zechariah Hanavi prophesies, this will no longer be the 3 weeks and the 9 days, but rather Sason v'Simcha v'Yamim Tovim. Shabbat Shalom.
Ana Hashem, ki ani avdecha. Ana Hashem, ki ani avdecha. Ani avdecha.